Good morning, my darlings. Well, it's almost lunchtime, but good morning anyway. Saturday, the 22nd of February. And today, the long awaited book review of The Hotel by Daisy Johnson. Fabulous. Now, if you don't know who Daisy is, she was born on the 31st of October. Rather prodigious day, don't you think, for horror? In 1990. And she's a very new novelist. Her short story, well, that's what she's famous for. This is from Wikipedia. Her debut novel, Everything Under, was shortlisted for the 2018 Man Booker Prize. That is impressive. And besides Eleanor Catton, she is the youngest nominee in the prize's history for her short stories. She has won 3 awards since 2014. So, as I say, she was born the 31st of October 1990, which makes our darling girl 35 years old. What an accomplished writer at 35 years of age. You will understand as we delve deep into the hotel. Yes. Her alma mater, where she was educated, darlings, was Lancaster University, Somerville College in Oxford as well. Yes, so Daisy Johnson wrote The Hotel. This is a first edition signed. Thank you, Daisy. Fabulous. Absolutely fabulous. Published by Jonathan Cape in London by Penguin Random House. Copyright Daisy Johnson 2024. So I got this at Christmas from my beloved husband. He knows that I love first editions. He knows I love quirky, unusual books. And he knows I love a signed edition. So, thank you, darling. Yes. On the corner of this, it says, Daisy Johnson is the demon offspring of Shirley Jackson and Stephen King. That's from The Observer. May I also add, there is an hint, a dusting of Daphne du Maurier as well. Yes. For the unnerving, unusual, under your skin. Yes, it will tick all the boxes. Now, how many of you are familiar with string theory? Now, as far as I understand string theory, it is a world like our own, a photocopy, if you will, with one step removed. So there would be a slight, ever so imperceptible change in the second world. And then when you travel to the third world, another change. That, my darlings, is in essence the description of this book. You start off, you are a observer, a voyeur, if you will, looking at the world within the walls of the hotel. And everything on surface level is perfect. Wonderful, in fact. You can't understand why people wouldn't want to stay at the hotel. Scratch the surface just a little bit and you'll notice that things are not quite as they seem. And as you go off and explore this world that we are in, you will notice things that aren't quite right. This is where you need to tack something to a reference point as you're going through, because on the very surface, everything's okay. Please put your safety point in now. And off you go, and you will explore this world. Meanwhile, with a little bit of something behind you to yank you back, you hope. And as you go along, you'll find an entrance to the next world, to the next level of the hotel. And you will go through that door, and you will be immersed and looking at this hotel again. But something's slightly off. Remember where your anchor point is, because you're going to need it. And off you go, exploring, seeing, doing, feeling, touching, experiencing the next world with one removed. And you're so deeply immersed in this world that you don't quite realize that you've slipped again into another copy with one step removed. I hope you remember where your anchor point is, because you might need it. Don't forget to breathe while you're in here, by the way. Each story you would think stands alone. It doesn't. That's where your string theory comes in, because it's interwoven in the most eerie of ways. That's why I asked you to have your anchor point, because if you don't, you might never get out. You may never find the red door, for which that is your escape. Or maybe you'll see the red door and you're so hypnotized and so under the influence of the hotel at this point, it may lull you into not wanting to go out the red door after all. Very, very strange. It has a long history, does the hotel, from being a farm where evil doings dwell, to being scrap, boggy forest land, to being a hotel. Each layer is essentially more evil than the last. It is the malevolence that seeps like a gas, and it's invisible, and you can't sense it, you can't see it, you can't smell it, yet you know it's there. And it's just evil. It's so evil. There's one particular chapter in here called, I believe it's called The Infestation. Yes, The Infestation, which is about two young girls. Now, as a mother, I was quite repulsed by it, and yet I couldn't stop reading it. It went against everything that my motherly instincts are for, and it was so repulsive. I was revulsed with these children, but I couldn't stop reading it. I was, I was hypnotized. It was a hypnotic revulsion. Evil. How can children be so evil? And yet they are. They truly are. Absolutely. If you want the hairs to stand up all over your body, yes. It's just fantastic. And I know this was on the Radio 4, and it was serialized in a drama. And if you do get chance, just go into Radio 4 archives and look up Daisy Johnson's The Hotel. And in fact, the acknowledgements. This collection was originally written for Radio 4. My thanks to Justine Willett, who worked with me on these stories and produced and cast them so brilliantly. Thanks to all the extraordinary actors who performed them, especially to Maxine, to everyone who worked so hard at representing the publishing of my books at Jonathan Cape and Aitken Alexander. You know who you are. My enormous thanks. Thanks in particular to Chris Wellbeloved, to my family and friends, to Matt, as always, to our children. So she's a mother. So, wow, to write Infestation and she's a mother. You have something very unique, Daisy. You have a finger on the pulse of humanity. You understand how minds and people work, which is a unique gift. And to be able to put that into Infestation with those girls was genius. You are an amazing, wonderful writer. I cannot say enough good things about this young lady. She is amazing. She's absolutely fantastic. What a wonderful writer with a very glittering future in front of her. I will be buying more of your works, Daisy. I will definitely be a big supporter of your future works. As soon as I get my hands on them, as soon as you've written them, my darling, I will be reading them and reviewing them. I have to just read you a very, very tiny amount. I do not wish to spoil this. If you have never heard of The Hotel, if I read too much, I will ruin it. So I'm only reading the first page. This is what we know about the hotel. It is bigger on the inside than the outside. Do not go into room 63. Doors and windows do not stay in the same places. The hotel listens when you speak. The hotel watches. The hotel knows everything about you. The hotel knew you before you arrived. The hotel looks different to different people. We'll be at the hotel soon. The hotel is familiar. The hotel is a stranger in an alley. It is difficult to find information about the hotel online, and a degree of patience is needed. The language used to write about the hotel is difficult, tangled. Websites spring up, rife with stories, and soon become pitted with absences. Sentences which begin and end nowhere. Vanishing punctuation. In a book on haunted British buildings, there is a chapter on the hotel, which is pulled before publication and never read by anyone. Photographs of the hotel have a habit of going missing, but it is possible to hunt down small snippets of information, to troll through history for the signs. Now, darlings, I'm not going to read you anymore because that will be doing you an injustice. For I want you to be submerged wholly, wantingly, willingly. You will give of yourself to delve within these pages. Pages of malevolence, my darlings. Remember, tack your safety on, stick it in, and pull on that rope. Don't get lost in the ever wandering corridors of the hotel. And for goodness sakes, never lose your keys. Don't let your keys out of your sight, out of your hand, my darlings. And be willing to walk through the red door. Yes, a malevolent little darling this is. Insidious, evil, infestation, and wicked, wicked children. What's not to like? Well, on that note, I will say happy readings, darlings. Enjoy your journey into hell. Yes, and you'll be so looking forward to the trip, my darlings. You really will. You can't find fault with this at all. I mean, it's even got a little pussycat. Yes, and there's your string to hang on to reality. I know. Absolutely fantastic. My husband knows me. I always say, if you're going through life and you're looking for the partner that gets you, find the partner that really gets you. Anyway, my darlings, give this one a go. Really do. I hope you enjoy losing your mind, your heart, and your soul to the hotel. Enjoy. Happy readings, darlings. Enjoy all the books that are out there. I'm finally getting back into my groove. Here I am. Look out 2025. Yes, you will really, really enjoy this. I promise you that. Yeah. So if you like what I do, you can always give me a thumbs up. And if you really like what I do, you can always give me a follow, because goodness knows where I'm going to take you next. But I know you're going to enjoy